So, hello, welcome. It's Anna. I am the founder of We Are Fit Attitude, the women only fitness and health club. And today I have lovely Claire, who's one of our members, who's agreed to tell us a bit more about her journey with WAFA. So, Claire joined us in November 2019. So, Claire, what I would like you to do is to first of all take yourself back to pre-WAFA days, before you joined, and I guess where you were at and what prompted you to get in touch with us.
I had recently moved to the area, and I'd done the Shine Walk Marathon in September, and I'd hurt my ankle. So from the beginning of September until I joined at the end of November, I did absolutely nothing. I couldn't do any real walking because my foot was kept swelling up. To like 3 times I had to buy special shoes in that interim just to be able to get my foot into it, and they weren't attractive. But I was really feeling, I don't know, like probably the worst I felt in the sense of fitness, purely because I just hadn't done anything. And I went from walking 14 hours a week, at least, down to doing absolutely nothing, doing the bare minimum. Even walking to the end of the road was just torture. So when I moved, I really, really wanted to get back into it. So I Googled gyms, and I hate the gym. I hate the gym because I just have no motivation. I'm always clock watching. It's just absolute torture. And then I seen WAFA popped up, and I read through what it was about, and I was like, okay, the universe has thrown me a bone. It sounds perfect. And I spoke to the lovely Natalie, and honestly, for first I was a bit like, is it a cult? I'm not gonna lie, because she was there's a lot of questions.
I trained well.
Yeah, no, but but I appreciated it afterwards, because then as she was asking me questions, she was telling me also about WAFA and what it was about, and that it's not just an exercise class. It's about giving you the tools in order for you to move everything along, mentally, emotionally, physically, and it's all rounded. And I think even from that first interaction with Natalie, I got that from her, and I wasn't disappointed, to be honest. So
Well, and
still
I
here.
remember you are still here. So you started on our
Yeah.
program, Body Fix in 6, and I remember, I know you told me the other day about that you hated the gym, and it sounds to me like you'd had a pretty nasty time all round, and were very conscious of, people watching you, and they probably weren't, but you probably felt that they were. But then,
and it wasn't what I said. Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry, they probably weren't as much. I mean, there was just, I think it was just a couple of comments had been made, and I think that just made me really feel more self-conscious. And I think that like certain areas of the gym are designed to intimidate, whether they mean to or not. Like the weights area, which I always wanted to go to, but just couldn't. I could not muster the energy or the strength to walk down, because I didn't know how to use the machine either. So I felt like I was more of a hindrance, and that was the impression I got, especially when someone's standing beside you, tapping their foot, looking at their watch because they're doing their circuit. So it's like, yeah, get off.
So know it so well. So you joined us, and I remember our first session, and I know you were very nervous, but you went through the 6 weeks, and what changed? What do you think changed for you?
Definitely my fitness. Like I told you this, that I had to call my dad after my classes just to walk me home those 7 minutes, because my legs would just be like jelly. But I felt so energized by it, and it's just such an enthusiastic class. You don't have time to clock watch. If you're looking at the clock, you're not doing it right. You're moving at such a fast pace that it just flies by, and pretty much everything hurts. I'm not gonna make it out that it doesn't, because I went through that much Epsom salts. I think Acado thought I had an addiction. It got real bad. But like the muscles, like honestly, I was every day. There was one day I had to work from home because I couldn't get dressed. But like that tells me how far I've come, because I'm doing all the same exercises now and I do not have those pains. Like I do not have it. You get, I mean, obviously, you know, you have sore muscles and you stretch them out, etc., but not on the level. The first 6 weeks I was in bits because I was using I just hadn't used before. But it was it's such a great sense of achievement, because you could see right away, even after the first week, I knew that I was improving, and I just was sort of spurred on to keep going.
So you did the 6 weeks. We've moved on from there, and you've obviously got quite an exciting goal to head towards. But what has also changed? I mean, you really had the goal of losing a bit of weight and so on. Have
Yeah.
you changed what else have you changed then?
I think I'm not as hard on myself as I was. I'm still, you know, it's still a progress. Nobody is more critical of me than me. But I am using tools now to stop myself. I notice that I can hear sometimes and I'm like, stop it. Don't be so negative towards yourself. I'm actually a really positive person, and if any of my friends or anybody that meets me, if I spoke to them the way I speak to myself, I would have no friends. And it's just a case of sort of, I mean, I've done the mindful class with you and the girls, which was, I don't know, it was really, that day when I went in, felt so overwhelmed. I had a wedding coming up. There's so much pressure to look a certain way, and it's the unknown for me because I'd never been like dress shopping for a wedding dress before. Still waiting. Um but you know, I felt like I was putting myself under a lot of pressure, and there was other people giving me sort of advice that was putting me even more pressure on me. So as lovely as that all is, that class really helped because it helped me sort of take things in bite size, because I was looking at the end picture and feeling so overwhelmed. And now I know that actually I do it month by month now, as opposed to worrying. There's a 28-day challenge that we do. It's every quarter, if not every other month, but I do it every month because that keeps me going. It's not like a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing for me. And I've improved. I've lost inches everywhere on my body. And I've got my waist back. I know that sounds like I just starting to see my old self, and I've still got a good bit to go, but I can see myself getting there, whereas before I just couldn't. And that's 6 months.
Yeah, and I think also you were when you first joined, you were so conscious of yourself. And I don't mean that in a negative, but it was,
No.
I could see the nerves, and I could see that sort of doubt in yourself. And you know, I hope you won't mind me saying, but just literally about 2 weeks ago, you sent me photos of yourself and you said, look, I've got a waist. Now, I was so delighted when you sent that, because for me, that showed such progress, not only because you could see your waist, but also there was no way when you first joined that you would ever have sent me a photo. You said to me, right, you can take photos of me if you want, but I don't want to see them. And I've got those photos. And it was just the fact that you felt confident enough to send me those photos just showed how much you have progressed. And
I like looking in the mirror now, which I guess when I started, I was just avoiding. It's not that I had like a hatred of myself, but I just didn't feel good. I put on a lot of weight from stopping smoking, and obviously then not being able to exercise. And yeah, my confidence was really low, and I just don't feel that anymore now. I'm continually on a daily basis looking at the improvements, I would say, definitely.
Well, absolutely. And it's nice that you're talking in this way, because it wasn't so long ago where, you know, you almost couldn't see beyond the negative thoughts. Whereas now, as you say, now you're it's almost like, and I always say this about members, that, you know, initially when you're so absorbed in your own thoughts and negative feelings, you're very insular and you're looking inwards. But actually what happens is when you start having a little bit of self-belief and start seeing that things are changing, suddenly you start looking outwards and
Yeah.
realizing there are opportunities out there and that you don't have to hide away. And I just think that's just so, it's so good to see you doing that now.
Yeah, and I feel it. I feel like different.
Mm.
Definitely, I've such more confidence, I
Oh,
would say. And I always sort of, I put on the bravado, obviously, you know, that's sort of what you do, but now I actually feel it.
mm.
So it means so much more.
I am so pleased. So obviously we've now got hopefully another 6 months or however long you're going to be with us.
Yeah.
But we're in the online world that seems to have. We don't really need to talk about that because that seems to work really well. But obviously there are lots of women who were like you, feeling
Mm.
negative, very conscious of themselves, lacking in confidence, seeing my adverts and kind of teetering on the edge of
Yeah.
getting in touch. What would you say to those women?
Oh, they've nothing to lose, 100%, except the inches. Is that an advertisement? Like honestly, I've never looked back. I've never once thought anything like you. There's no gain without pain. It's not an easy class, but there are 3 levels, and I would say all the instructors are just phenomenal. Like there's certain, like I hurt my back, and I remember asking Sally, I said, listen, I can't like sit on the floor. Is there a way you can show me to do the same thing, but you know, not sitting there? And she was like, of course, no problem. And we did it and we got through it. There's no need to be scared that it's going to be too hard or too much for you, because there's somebody going to be on your team, because we work in teams, we work in a pack. So you're never on your own. And they're always encouraging. And you can do it. It's 100%. You have nothing to lose in this game. It's simply you will get fitter and you will look better and you will feel better, because it's not just about the exercise, which is what I've always said to Anna. You should be marketing more like it's an all-rounded, honestly, the care package is what it is. And it's so empowering to have such a strong group of women from very like eclectic backgrounds coming together.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it is. So thank you very much indeed for that. I really appreciate it. I think you will inspire other women out there. So thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank